Geros again. This time he's looking for Barakat. That's who he finds. Barakat throws a pass for Johnson. Johnson back inside for Barakat, and that'll do. Out of nothing. There was nothing on Barakat. He looked up once again. He saw Johnson.
G'day, Doggies fans, all things Bulldogs, and that's one of the highlights you will be seeing in this Rising Star Player Watch. It is the Player Watch for 2026. I know we've got a lot to go at the end of this year, but I'm telling you, there's some kids we want to keep an eye on, and Matthew Barakat is one of them. He will be a part of our Halves Academy. The fact that he is learning and playing one of the most significant roles in the halfback position. He had a wonderful 2024, which we'll talk about, the Harold Matts run, where he, radar-like kicking boot, just all the skills. You're going to see that on these highlights that I'm going to show you with Matthew. We'll have a look at some of his write-ups. I'm going to talk about his goals, where he come from, what he's been doing, and what he hopes to achieve out of the NRL. And we'll also, just go through his highlights and discuss those on the run. But, someone you can get excited about. This kid looks to have a real future, and expecting big things of Matthew, as he continues to progress through our Bulldog system, a system he's been in since a junior at the age of 13. So, look, Matthew, very, very talented. And, from representing the Bulldogs in Harold Matts' SG Ball this year, stuck behind, the likes of Alex Conti, Bronson, Reuben, and obviously Mitch Woods, who came into the side in the final series. They won the first final, but lost their next final to the Canberra Raiders, which was a little bit disappointing. They got off to a great start in the year. I think Matthew only played a couple of games, which is understandably, but he's kept on fighting, kept trying. And obviously, as an 18-year-old in his first year of SG Ball, he will be quite important to the SG Ball chances come 2026. So let's get started and have a chat. He's 18 years old, 179 centimetres, so about 5'10" and a half, 5'11", weighs 79 kilos, will obviously grow a little bit. He's got a Lebanese background, born in Sydney, Australia. And he plays halfback in the Schoolboy Cup. He's the captain, I'm pretty sure, of the Bass Hill High School team, which have done pretty well, and also include Chinadu Uday in that side, and a couple of others that are playing in amongst for other clubs as well. Prefers the halfback position. He wants the ball in his hands. He's got all the skills, as you'll see when I get these highlights cranking. Played some fullback as well coming through. His current favourite player is Mitchell Moses. All time it's JT Jonathan Thurston, and his heroes are JT Cooper Cronk and Andrew Johns. If we can get a mixture of those three players, influencing Matthew, we're going to have a very, very strong halfback, and someone who's going to come through this academy, I'm 100% sure of, and make a real push in the coming years to make his presence felt, and hopefully with the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs. His goal is obviously to play NRL for the Dogs and to represent New South Wales and Australia. He's still at school, as I said, and, born in Sydney, Australia. And that's pretty much it. Now, additionally, when talking about Matthew, as a kid, he, like in primary school, he attended the Immaculate Heart of Mary Sefton Primary School, went to Trinity Catholic College until year 10 before going to Bass Hill for year 11 and 12. He's been playing footy since he was 4 years old, just loved the game, and he's been in our doggy system pretty much his whole life. Played all his local junior footy in the Bulldogs comp at the Bankstown Bulls, and the St. Christopher's Junior Rugby League. He's also a part of the Bulldogs development from age 13, progressing through to Harold Matts and now currently a part of the SG Ball side, has an SG Ball contract, which goes into next year, where he'll be, one of the more senior players in that comp and expected to do very, very well. Got to train and trial, play some trial matches for the Jersey Flegg this year, and he's also been able to train with the Jersey Flegg side quite often, which has been great for him and his growth and his confidence. And as you'll see, as they go up, get older and become a Jersey Flegg player, they'll train with New South Wales Cup and then so on and so on. So obviously represented the Bulldogs in Harold Matts and SG Ball with a couple of games this year. Had success against the Knights, I'm pretty sure, and got 6 from 6 with the boot. Very good radar-like goal kicker. And, his achievements recognised by being selected in the Sydney Combined High Schools team. We'll see some highlights from that as well. Didn't really get much of an opportunity. They had Toby Batten, who's been selected as the Australian Combined High Schools number 7 from Nambucca Heads, which is where I'm from. I did my year 11 and 12 there, and lots of talent has come out of that system. They're part of our pathways, the North Coast Bulldogs, but I do believe Toby has been signed by the Dolphins. So good luck to him on that. I wouldn't say that Toby's a better player than Matthew Barakat. They're different players, and I think Matthew is exactly the type of player that Canterbury fans will absolutely love to see more and more of. He's got that short kicking game. He can, find his wingers on the full to score out wide. He's got a really good deceptive running game and passing game, dummy game. His support plays great, backing up for tries. You'll see it all in these, and we'll talk about those as well. His advice for any kids that haven't made it to any rep football, and as Gus Gould says, the teams, these kids that we're talking about, Matthew Barakat and all these, it could be the best side they're ever part of. Nothing's guaranteed. They know that they've got to work hard. They've got to put in so much effort just to get to each level through our representative system. And I believe Matthew will continue on that path because he's definitely demonstrating all those key foundations and fundamentals. All the little things is what these kids are about. And he's definitely someone who's motivated to continue going and pushing for his dream. And that's what his advice is. Just, every setback that you have is just another step and, to the path of success. So very well, schooled in what they've got to do, has a really good mindset for progression and understands, a setback's just another challenge you've got to overcome to set you up for future success. And if you keep pushing forward, stay dedicated, your time will come. So very, very happy with what I've seen so far from Matthew Barakat. Let's get into looking at his highlights. Cannot wait to have a look at that. And we'll have that rolling down the bottom there for you as well. So here we go. We're going to start looking at Matt's highlights, and I will play them and talk over them as well. But there will be some audio coming through. We'll see how that goes. So this is for Bass Hill. He's on the right edge. Beautiful cutout pass. Beautiful cutout pass. Straight across the face of 3 or 4 defenders and of his own players for a beautiful try. So on the replay, first receiver straight away knew what he was doing off that lead up run, perfectly executed. Obviously, very well practiced, and they knew what they were doing there. Beautiful little short ball here from Barakat to Godinay, who also played in that combined high schools team, and I think he's a West player. And a beautiful ball here. And then backing up on the inside, as every good halfback does. See, you've seen him on the right edge, you've seen him on the left edge there as well, which is fantastic. Bulldogs against the Panthers. Pinpoint pass. And there he goes. Dummy and run. They're behind. And, just early in the second half there, making up some deficit against Hunter. I think this was Harold Matts last year. Stepping. So came to him on the left, crabbed back to the right and got a beautiful little ball across and set up a great try against the Sharks. Now against the Knights, they're behind at this point. Oliver Smith goes through and Barakat, and they go to the lead. Probably with about 8 to 15 minutes left. And he goes under the posts. I think that would have been SG Ball this year. So he's done well there. Oh, beautiful pass to Johnson and then backs up. So he likes going down that left edge, but we've seen him go the left and the right. And that was last year. Here we go again, down the left. Beautiful ball. Digs in, gets a beautiful pass away. Loving it. Down the left. Oh, straight through. Dummy both ways. And gets it to the backing up guy down the middle against the Illawarra Steelers. That was Harold Matts last year. There we go. He got a big ride-up after the Penrith game. They were strong against the Panthers. It was impossible to stop just one player in the top performers. Barakat had a fantastic start to the season, as evidenced by another clinical display from the halfback. He scored a try with his backup play, put a pinpoint kick on the chest of Paul Johnson, and was involved in another 3 tries for the match. Look at that. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We don't see enough of that from the Bulldog senior players, just the accuracy of kick. And it's good to see some really skillful kids coming through with the ability to do that. Right up on his Bass Hill influence. He's an impressive halfback coming through the ranks. The Bass High playmaker struggled for an opportunity in 2025, parked behind the Bulldogs' impressive SG Ball halves. So this was a talk about some of the best high school kids coming through, and Matthews made that list. So definitely one to watch. And you'll know that lots of clubs will be circling this halfback, because halfbacks are at a premium, and there's not too many good ones at the moment. So all the juniors coming through that have got all the skill set, they've got the work ethic, can defend, can do it all, they're going to be in huge demand. He's an impressive kicking game and possesses the full gamut of passes to unlock the players around him. And we've seen that in those highlights, which are a really good showcase of what he can do. He'll step up as captain of the Bass Hill side and will play the conductor role as they look to make a strong charge towards the finals in the Schoolboy Cup. So Riley Laverty, I'm pretty sure, is from Maxville, also in the North Coast Bulldogs, and I think is also signed with the Dolphins. So that's 7 is Toby Batten, on to Barakat, and he just takes it to the line and does it so easily. Beautiful soft hands, nice pass on the chest. And those 3 all combined in the Bulldogs juniors at some point this year, I'm pretty sure. And I rate Matt Barakat very highly. Some more Bass Hill. So that was the New South Wales Combined High School before. Little chip. And they score. just perfectly weighted, showcasing his ability. They went up 14-0 against Illawarra High. Oh, look at this. Stepping off both feet and gets the pass away at the end to score. They had no right to score that try, and that put them up against Arundel College. There's a nice photo of him. He's got his New South Wales gear on. 30 all against, this was in SG Ball this year, 30 all against the Knights. Beautiful little chip. And Rock, who's playing in our Jersey flag this year, one of the biggest wingers you've ever seen, or tallest. Another Fijian. We've got quite a few coming through. And that was a nice little chip for him. Beautiful work yet again. And he's backing up on the inside as usual. Improves his position under the posts. Very well done. Combined high schools. Backing up there off the break, off the dummy. Now, this was the second game against the combined affiliated schools, so didn't get much time in the other games to really influence much. But definitely in that game, when he come on, the team, I think they might have been up 20-0 or something, and they just went right on with it while he and CJ went on the field. And he was involved in everything since that point. There'll be more here from him. He puts up the beautiful bomb. And look at that. Just another great, see, look at this kick. Just come on, already set up the first try. And now he set up a second one. Another kick down deep in. Look at this ball set up. Finds the grass, just sits up in the end goal. And he's there to make the tackle. Perfect. So another write-up on Matty. Talk about stamping your authority before the fans are settled into their seats. That was Matthew Barakat at Belmore last Saturday. In a whirlwind opening, the Dogs half put on 3 tries as Canterbury raced in 18 points in as many minutes. There was a clever short ball to a rampaging Finau Farley and a pinpoint crossfield kick to winger Paul Johnson, while after the interval, the number 7 handled twice to score one of his own. So he's featuring in write-ups. Beautiful little grubber down the left. He's got all the skills. Dummy, runs to the line, scores the opening try against the Sharks. See some kids in there, Damon Marshall. That might have been a trial match, that. Looked like they had the trial gear on. Right edge, dummy, runs through. So he's doing it both sides of the ruck. And that's the very, very impressive thing. And there he is there, Matthew Barakat, with FAM written on his wrist. Cheeky little tongue as he's scoring the try. Another write-up in the Daily Telegraph. Matthew Barakat throwing his hat in the ring for the Harold Matts Player of the Year. That was last year. The halfback was sensational in dismantling Illawarra, finishing with 3 try assists to cap a near-perfect game with halves partner Elijah Tuifua. And there you go. So that's Matthew Barakat. And I'm too big there, so look, that's pretty much the feature on Matthew. Really happy with what I've seen there from that kid. You can see he can play both sides of the ruck. He's not scared to throw a ball. He's not scared to take on the line. He's not scared to put in the kick. So he's just seeing that combination, run, pass, kick. It's only a little bit of what these kids have done. It's just a little bit. you know, they know they've got no false expectations, or you know, they know that nothing comes to them easily. They've got to earn everything that they do. You know, whether they're out in the community, at the football ground, wherever they are, they're representing the Bulldogs. They're representing their own career. They understand how important it is that they, you know, demonstrate that work ethic, that humbleness, and also that ability to chase their dreams on and off the park, and also to have a plan B as well, which is why these kids are at school and working hard there as well. So very proud to have been able to, you know, just sit there and present this to everyone else, and all the followers and people who watch, and any family and friends of Matthew. This is for you guys, just to be able to sit there and see this on the public record, because these kids deserve as much you know, accolades as they can get for the hard work that they're putting in, and they're doing a really good job. And from all reports, are just fantastic people as well, from what I've been told. You know, and I can't say enough good stuff about these kids. That and thank you so much for having the opportunity to do this as well. So that's Matthew Barakat. This is all things Bulldogs, rising star player watch for 2026. Keen to see them go around. And before I go, there is also a trial, an SG Ball trial on Wednesday. You know, it might be the 30th of July. I would suggest that is Wednesday the 30th, 7:30 p.m. Hammondville Oval at Moorbank, and a bunch of these Harold Matthews players will play a trial against the Cronulla Sharks. So we'll see the likes of Elijah Tafua, CJ Uday, Paul Johnson, players you heard mentioned in that in those highlights. They'll all be there. So that'll be awesome. All right, people, thanks for watching. Get behind these kids. You know, and that's the other thing. If you've got nothing to do on a Saturday or whatever it is, you're in the area and look at where these kids play. Go down and watch, you know, buy a drink and a pie, support the communities, get out there and give them a clap and tell them you're out there supporting them. It really makes a huge difference for them to have people there with Bulldogs jumpers on, supporting the youngsters coming through. And I know there's a lot of people who do that. We share that all over our Facebook groups. But the more people we can get involved in that sort of thing, the better it is for the kids, and it's great for the local communities and the football clubs that are hosting these games. So that's what it's all about. Can't watch it all on TV, but you know, if you can't get out there, you got Bar TV. That's I think it's about $20 a month, and you can watch all these games as well. But better to get out there live, I say, and just focus on how good these youngsters are and get excited about the talent that's coming through the Bulldogs pathways and system. Thank you very much to everyone, and have a great day. And well done, Matthew. Go the Dogs.